My story starts, at least the one I'm going to tell today, at the age of 16. When I was 16 years old, I had this one truth, this one certainty that I hung onto, and that was I was going to be famous. And I really knew that by the time I was about 5. I was dancing on tables. My parents were like, "You have too much energy. Please go on a musical theater stage." And I knew from that point that I was going to be in music for the rest of my life. The problem for me was that at 16, I had one other certainty. I would end my life by 25. And that led to a very confusing series of years for me because I didn't understand at the time that our parts want to protect us. And when the question of your life comes into play, your parts are going to say, no, we have to protect from that. We can't move towards something like suicide. So I would start to achieve success. I'd be on this really good trajectory. And then my brain would say, no, success leads to ending my life because I get famous and then I end my life. We have to go in the complete opposite direction: failure, depression. The problem with that is that another part of my brain got activated and said, oh, failure, depression. I guess I shouldn't really be here anyway. So either way, there's no winning. Either way, success leads to suicide. Failure leads to suicide. And then you add on this additional factor of trauma. I was sexually abused for the first time when I was 7 years old. And I went through a series of abuses, was bullied badly, and by the time I was 14, I could not take it. I made an attempt on my life, and I ended up hospitalized. And I spent the rest of my high school career in this cycle of up and down, and I was in and out of hospitals until I was 17. And I reached what was the peak of my career at the time. I had the opportunity to be in Phantom of the Opera and play one of the leads. And then within 2 weeks after that show ending, I was raped. So this mentality that success leads to really bad things was really reinforced for me. I dropped out of high school. I fell into a really, really dark path, engaged in some behaviors that ultimately led to, at age 20, getting into a relationship that was very filled with domestic violence. When I finally gained the strength to leave that relationship, I said no. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I started a blog. This was back in 2013, and I did not see anybody talking about these things at all, and I thought there is no way I am the only one going through this. So my first entry, I was raped. I dove right in deep, and I found what This Is My Brave is saying to be true. People who had experiences that were similar to mine said, thank you. I didn't know anyone else was going through this. And people who hadn't had those experiences said, oh my God, I did not know that's what this is like. So I wanted to share my story as far and wide as I could, and I did. And when I was 24, I started working with This Is My Brave. And everything seemed like it was going up and going really well. But I had a problem, which was that idea that by 25, I was going to end my life. My birthdays got harder and harder as I approached that age each year. I wasn't any closer to fame, but I still had 4 years and 3 years and 2 years, and I had 1 year, and I could still do this. But then I was 24 and 9 months and 10 months and 11 months, and I really had to sit with that it wasn't happening. The one thing that I had wanted in my life, I failed at. And I hit a rock bottom I did not know could be hit. I was empty. I was nothing inside, and I ended up hospitalized for the first time in 7 years. When I was hospitalized, they didn't have a bed available, So they had to put me in the isolation room for 3 nights, and it was like literally 4 white walls around you. They put a hospital cot in the middle of the floor, nothing else in there. So they handed me a journal and a pen, and I started writing. I had nothing to do but sit with myself. So I'm writing, and I start asking myself questions. I find myself asking if I could be, do, or have anything in the world, what would that look like? I get out of the hospital. My life completely is turned on its head. I had been with a partner for 4 years at the time. We were living together. We broke up, so I'm newly single. I need to find a place to live. I got a day job for the first time in 5 years because I needed a break from music. And I also turned 25. I had never in my life ever pictured what life would be beyond that point. It turned out to be such a gift. It was almost this blank slate. Anything could be possible for me. So I came back to this question. If I could be, do, or have anything in the world, what would that look like? I started answering that question. And in the couple of years that followed, I did some really, really cool things. I found my dream partner. I got my dream car, my dream apartment. I went on tour, a 65-day national tour. Incredible, incredible experience. And I thought, I have to share this with everyone, because not only was I creating all of these awesome external things, I was healing. My wounds felt like they weren't wounds anymore. They turned from wounds to scars, to scar tissue, and felt like they were dissipating. And I thought, what? I had no idea this could be done, that this was possible. So my blog turned from I was raped to this is the method that I use. This is how to do this. I asked this question, if I could have anything in the world, what would that look like? And I followed it up with another question. Is it a belief or is it a fact? Does it have to be true? We live our society, our lives, our culture. Almost all of it is beliefs-based. You'll find that very few things are actually fact. And when you ask yourself, does this have to be true when you're experiencing something or you're believing something that you don't want to experience, you find that you can change the belief when the answer is, it's a belief. I fell in love with marketing when I learned all of this because I wanted to share everything, everywhere, all of the time. And from a marketing perspective, what I would love to say is just empathy. Empathy. I think analytics, algorithms, trending sounds, graphics, they're all incredibly important. And what I see getting lost is really tuning back into that loneliness that This Is My Brave mentions. How do we release that loneliness? And it is our responsibility as brands, companies, organizations to make sure that the people that we are reaching feel less alone. If I could offer you anything today, I would encourage you to ask yourself that question. If I could be, do, or have anything in the world, what would that be? Because at the end of the day, you healing, you living your dream life allows you to serve other people too and serve them best while you serve yourself. You have the power to create the most incredible life. And I never would have thought that I would stand here and do this, you know? And I'm here and I'm doing this, and I did make it past 25. And with all of my history, I have found a life of my dreams and of healing. And what I have found and what I want you to take away is that everything is possible. I'm going to be singing an original song today. I'm going to bring out that dream partner that I mentioned I found. This is Hana Kahn. Yay! Stop. He's going to be accompanying me today. If you have interest in performing with This Is My Brave, hosting a This Is My Brave show, finding out more, we've got our cute little table over here on the left, and we have all sorts of information. I am also going to be giving out free mindset coaching sessions, so I've got a paper over there that you can sign up for if you like, but also just come talk to me and say hi, because I love you, I love people, and this is such a wonderful place to be. So thank you so much for having me here today. I hope that this pumps you up this morning. This is a song called Thrivers. You told me I'd always be a loser. You told me I'd always have to fall. You told me I'd always play the victim. Sorry, not sorry, 'cause you were wrong. You told him he'd always been dramatic. You told us she'd always lose the game. You told us we were not survivors. Guess what? We thrive today. We are invincible. So send us your worst. We're shouting from the rooftop, saying watch me go. We're standing up, ready to explode. And when the time stops, jump into unknown. We're standing up, ready to show we are the thrivers of the world. Let's go. Whoa, we are thrivers. Whoa, we are thrivers. I told you I'd always been a dreamer. I told you I'd always wanted more. You told me I'd always fall apart. So now it's time to weave in the score, 'cause we are invincible. So send us your worst. We're shouting from the rooftop, saying watch me go. We're standing up, ready to explode. And when the time stops, jump into unknown. We're standing up, ready to show we are the thrivers of the world. Let's go. We are thrivers. We are thrivers. We are thrivers. Oh, we are thrivers. Oh, we are thrivers. Oh, we are thrivers. Let's go. We are thrivers. We are thrivers. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.